It started with a cable. Not even something juicy. Just a damn charging cable. Hers had frayed at the tip, classic, and she asked if she could borrow mine. The MacBook kind, you know, the stupid white blocky ones that heat up like a toaster. I told her sure, it's in my drawer. But 5 minutes later she was still standing in the hallway, holding her dead laptop like it was a coffin. I'll just wait for you to get it. Weird. I should have known then. Or earlier. Like last month when I walked in on her quickly closing Safari. Or the time I offered to install that update she kept skipping and she smiled too fast, said, "No need babe, I got it." Her laptop was off limits. Holy ground. Vatican level. She used to be the one who'd fall asleep watching trash TV on it. Now, she took it everywhere. Even to the bathroom. Who the hell brings a 15-inch MacBook into the bathroom? Still, I didn't dig. Not then. Because there's a kind of peace in not knowing. Like letting the monster live under the bed just so long as it doesn't come out when the lights are on. That night I couldn't sleep. Not sure what it was. Maybe her laugh from earlier, too loud at some DM she'd gotten. Or maybe the way she tilted her phone away from me when I walked past. Paranoia? Maybe. But something felt hot. Like a current under my skin. So I got up. She was asleep. Or pretending. Hard to tell now looking back. Her laptop was on her nightstand. Close. White light blinking. I swear it was looking at me. It took everything in me not to open it. I just stood there, staring at the stupid Apple logo like it might wink or bite or confess. Don't be that guy, I told myself. But the thought came anyway. What if she's hiding something? Then I laughed, like an idiot. Hiding what? Nudes? Debt? A secret Pinterest board full of wedding dresses with other people's initials? I went back to bed. But the image of that blinking light burned behind my eyes like a warning. Like it was saying, "You're gonna wish you never looked." 2 days later it happened. Completely random. I was scrolling Reddit, r/funny r/askmen, some nonsense thread about hottest underrated MILFs with OnlyFans. Don't judge, the algorithm does what it does. And then I saw it. Top comment. Her username. I froze. Not similar. Not close. Exact. Same spelling. Same weird capital letter in the middle. The same one she used when we made our shared Netflix. Holy shit. It had her profile pic. But not the one I knew. This one had her in lace. Legs up. Face half covered but not really. It was her. It was definitely her. I clicked. No hesitation. Just instinct. Like reaching out to stop a glass from falling, even if it's already shattered mid-air. Her profile opened. Banner image. Her legs in fishnets, crossed, wine glass in hand. Classy. Clean. Almost artsy. If you didn't know her, you'd think she was just another anonymous thirst trap with filters and angles. But I knew her. That tiny scar on her right thigh from when she fell off the bike at the lake. The mole near her hip she always joked about removing. The necklace she was wearing, my gift 3 anniversaries ago. No doubt. It was her. 8,000 subscribers. And growing. Daily posts. Captions like, "Home alone again, face blowing a kiss, wish someone could come keep me warm." I felt bile rise. Not jealousy. Not even rage. Just that thick, sour disgust that sits behind your ribs and slowly eats you inward. And still I scrolled. New sets every couple days. Some solo. Some not. Blurred faces but you could tell. Men. Hands that weren't mine. Rooms I didn't recognize. And the comments. God, the comments. One said, "I'd marry you in a second." Another. "Wife material if my wife didn't already suck." I actually laughed at that one. Because same man. Fucking same. I don't know how long I sat there. The Reddit thread long forgotten. The apartment dead silent. Her, 2 rooms over in the kitchen, probably reheating that vegan chili she makes when she's feeling domestic. I thought about going in there. Asking. What would I say? "Hey babe, just curious, how long you been selling your pussy to strangers named Big Rick 1994? Nah. Instead I checked the date on her first post. 6 months ago. 6 fucking months. That was when she suddenly got more into skincare. When she started buying lingerie, just for herself. When she said she needed space to explore. Yeah, she was exploring alright. Then came the worst part. There was a video. Pinned at the top. Titled, "Confession, Why I Started This Black Heart." I clicked. The audio was soft. Sultry. Her voice, low and breathy, like she was whispering secrets into a lover's ear. "I used to feel invisible," she said. "I used to wait for someone to see me. But now I'm finally choosing myself." Pause. Smile. "Thanks for watching and for making me feel desired again. My mouth went dry. She wasn't talking to me. She never was. I didn't eat that night. The chili was still warm on the stove. Hers, not mine. She was in the living room, curled up under a blanket, watching something with subtitles. Foreign. Pretentious. The kind of film she'd claim moves her while scrolling TikTok the entire time. I stood in the hallway just outside her view. My skin was buzzing. My thoughts jagged. And all I could think about was the fact that she was famous. Not influencer famous. Not look at my brunch famous. She was anonymous famous. The kind that lives in bookmarks and burner phones. The kind men moan to in secret. And I was sleeping beside her. Every night. Clueless. I walked in like nothing happened. She looked up, smiled, muted the TV. Where have you been? I lied instantly. Scrolling. Got sucked into Reddit again. Figures. She laughed. That laugh I used to love. Now it felt stolen. Like it didn't belong to her anymore. Or maybe it never did. I sat beside her. The couch dipped. Our legs touched. She smelled like coconut shampoo and lies. Want some chili? She asked. Later. She leaned on my shoulder, phone in hand, screen turned away. I wanted to grab it, smash it, scream. Instead, I nodded to the muted movie. What's this one about? She smiled. A woman who disappears. The irony slapped me. Disappears. Yeah, no shit. She was already gone. Replaced by this digital doll version of her. One for me, one for them. Two parallel lives, both fake. Both feeding off attention. I stared at her, at the side of her face, lit by the blue TV light. And for the first time I didn't recognize her. Later she fell asleep on the couch. That fake peace on her face. Like nothing was crumbling. Like I wasn't shattering 2 feet away. I opened her laptop. Didn't even hesitate this time. The password? Her childhood dog's name. Of course it was. Safari was clean. History wiped. Tabs closed. But she forgot the one thing, cache. It took me under 5 minutes. Inside her email I found everything. Payments, messages, subscriptions to other creators, DMs from clients, Dropbox links, scheduled shoots, custom requests. One name popped up twice. Rick, $200 tip, said he loved the lighting. I blinked. Rick, that was my coworker. From marketing. I sat there, staring at that name like it was a glitch. Like maybe it wasn't him. Maybe Rick was just a common name. Like John. Or Dan. But no. Same spelling. Same numbers. His handle had been on our company Slack. I'd seen it 100 times. I'd messaged him memes. We'd shared drinks. He once asked me how to make my lasagna. Turns out he was making something else. He'd been tipping her. Commenting. Subscribing. Jerked off to her probably during office hours. Maybe even in the goddamn break room. And I'd been giving him rides home when his car broke down. I should have felt anger. But I didn't. Not yet. What I felt was cold. A slow, sharp, creeping cold. Like frost climbing up the inside of a window. You know it'll crack, but you can't stop watching. I clicked deeper. She'd sent him messages. Not just replies. Initiated. Loved your last message, winking face. Would you want something more custom? Jesus. This wasn't passivity. This wasn't just exploring herself. She was running a business. A curated fantasy empire. Her body was product. Her words scripted. Her eyes for sale. And she was damn good at it. I closed the laptop. Quiet. Mechanical. Like it was part of some ritual. Then I stood up and walked to the window. It was raining now. Light, cold drizzle. City lights smeared across the glass like paint. The kind of night where everything feels too soft, too slow. Behind me she snored. A little puff of breath, innocent. She had no idea. I pressed my forehead to the glass. My reflection stared back. Tired, pale, older than I remembered. What was I supposed to do now? Wake her? Confront her? Tell her I know she's been showing her body to strangers while I've been washing her dishes and folding her underwear? But a thought hit me. What if it was me? What if somewhere along the line I became background noise? A beige wall. A dull ache she got used to. Maybe she didn't betray me. Maybe she just replaced me. With a screen. With validation. With men like Rick, who never had to see her in the morning when she was grumpy or bloated or real. Men who only knew the edited version. The cropped, filtered, polished lie. And part of me wondered, was I angry at her? Or at the fact that they got the better version of her, and I didn't? A sound. She stirred, shifted, yawned. I turned. She rubbed her eyes, looked at me. You coming to bed? My mouth opened. Words lined up. But they didn't leave. Yeah, I said. Just needed air. She smiled. The same smile she gave to strangers for $14.99 a month. I lay next to her, blanket up to her shoulders, her back against me, breathing slow, steady, like she didn't just burn our life to the ground in thigh highs and lipstick. I watched the ceiling. It didn't move, but everything else did. My brain was running, full sprint. Scenes playing in reverse, fast forward, freeze frame. Trying to pinpoint the moment I became a roommate instead of a husband. Or maybe just a prop in her production. Her hand brushed my chest in her sleep, and I flinched. Flashback. 1 year ago. She was in the kitchen wearing my shirt, barefoot, cooking pancakes. Music playing. That stupid indie band she loved. She spun around, powdered sugar on her cheek. Try this, she said, lifting the fork. Back then, I thought I had everything. I thought she was mine. I turned to face her. In the dark, her face looked soft, peaceful. Like nothing about her was corrupted. Like the lies hadn't rooted deep. But they had. And now I was breathing them in. Her phone buzzed. Just once. A subtle tremor against the nightstand. She didn't wake. I leaned over, glanced at the screen. Notification preview. New tip from Rick, $100. I stared at it. My jaw clenched so tight I felt my molars shift. It wasn't about the money. It wasn't even about the sex. It was about the performance. About how she looked happier there, on camera with them, than she'd looked with me in months. And now I wasn't even sure who I was anymore in her story. The husband? The cover? The joke? I closed my eyes, and the last thing I saw before the darkness took me was her smile on the screen. The one she sold, not the one she gave me. The morning was normal. Too normal. She made coffee. Black for me, oat milk for her. Played music from her phone. Hummed along. Wore that oversized hoodie I bought her 2 Christmases ago. The one she used to wear when we'd binge horror movies and hide under the same blanket. Now it just looked like camouflage. Sleep okay? She asked. Yeah, I lied. I stirred my coffee like it owed me something. She scrolled through her phone, face soft, lips twitching at messages I couldn't see. And I kept thinking, how many of them had messaged her already this morning? How many good mornings did she get before mine? We talked like normal. Bills, laundry, her mom's birthday. But beneath it all, I could feel the tension. Like a rubber band stretched to the edge. Every laugh felt rehearsed. Every glance delayed. And every time I tried to meet her eyes, she blinked too fast. Like she knew. Not that I knew everything. Just that something had shifted. That I was somewhere else now. Mentally. Emotionally. And I wasn't coming back. Around noon, I picked up her laptop again. She was in the shower. Singing. Loud. Confident. Like her world was intact. Like mine wasn't burning quietly in the hallway. The cache was still open. Same tabs. Same Dropbox links. One folder stood out now, recently updated. Titled, Requests Premium Tier. Inside, short videos. Private. Tailored. One of them had my shirt in the background. The one I thought she lost. She had used it as a prop. I shut it. Art. This wasn't just deception. It was occupation. Our home was no longer ours. It was her studio. Her brand. And I was just part of the set. I didn't say anything for days. Not because I forgave her. Not even because I was afraid. But because part of me didn't want it to be real. As long as the words weren't spoken. As long as the confrontation stayed in my throat. I could pretend. Pretend this was a phase. Pretend she was lost. Pretend I was still the center of her gravity. She started being sweeter. Subtle. Touching my shoulder more. Sitting closer. Asking how my day was. Laughing at my jokes that didn't deserve it. Performance? Maybe. But it worked. Because I wanted to believe it. One night we ordered takeout. Sat on the floor like we used to. Shared dumplings. She wore nothing but a t-shirt and her hair in a messy bun. And for one terrifying second. Felt okay. Normal. Familiar. Like the world I thought I lost was still somewhere under the ash. But then she asked, "Are you okay?" And it shattered. I looked at her. Really looked. She wasn't scared. She wasn't even suspicious. She was curious. Detached. Like someone watching a character in a movie unravel. Like she already knew the ending and was just waiting for it to happen. I said, "Just tired." She nodded but didn't ask more. She never did. because maybe deep down, she knew I already saw it all. And maybe deeper than that, I was starting to wonder if I had always been invisible, a background extra in a life I thought was mine. I kept thinking about that morning with the pancakes, the powdered sugar, the fork, her dancing barefoot in the kitchen. It used to be my favorite memory, the one I went back to when things got rough. But now I couldn't stop wondering if it was all a lie. Was she already lying then? Was I just too stupid to notice the way her smile didn't quite reach her eyes? Or worse, was she smiling for someone else? The flashbacks weren't safe anymore. They used to comfort me. Now they stalked me, each one tainted, infected. Her hand in mine at the beach. Was she texting him while I bought ice cream? That night we made love in the rain. Did she film something the next morning? Was anything ours? Or was I always sharing her? She wore a new robe to bed now. So, deep green. Expensive. I hadn't seen the receipt. I didn't ask, but I knew. I knew who bought it, who probably requested it, who probably tipped extra just to see her spin in it. And when she walked past me in it, I didn't feel desire. I felt erased. That's the thing they never tell you about betrayal. It doesn't just steal the present. It rewrites the past, burns through it, turns every good thing into a sick joke you were the last one to get. I sat on the edge of our bed that night, watching her sleep, and I caught myself whispering something under my breath. Not loud, not angry, just broken. Who are you? But she didn't stir, because maybe she wasn't even listening anymore. She asked me to help her film something, said it was for her blog, said she needed a second pair of hands, said it like I was just around, not her partner, not her secret, just someone with opposable thumbs and enough blind loyalty to press record. I almost laughed. No, actually, I did laugh. A short, sharp exhale. One of those pathetic little sounds that carries a whole avalanche behind it. She blinked. What's funny? Nothing, I said. Just the sound of my spine cracking in half. She handed me her phone. New tripod. Ring light. Script scribbled in bullet points. I looked at it, then at her. She wore lipstick. Different from usual. Darker. Sharper. The kind of color you wear when you're not trying to kiss anyone, just kill them slowly. Where do I stand? I asked deadpan. She pointed, smiled. Right where she wanted me. While she posed, while she pouted, while she leaned into her angles like she was born on a set, I stood behind the lens and thought, so this is it. This is who she is now. An actress. A brand. A commodity. And me? I'm the guy holding the camera. The guy they don't see. The guy they shouldn't see. I almost said something after. While she reviewed the footage. While she told me I had a good eye. Yeah, no shit. I had a good eye. I saw everything. I opened my mouth. She looked at me. And I closed it. Because if I said it, if I let the words out, then the illusion would die. And I wasn't ready to bury it. Not yet. I started walking more. Late nights. No destination. Just sneakers, headphones, and the kind of silence that feels heavier than noise. Sometimes I'd end up blocks away, no clue how I got there. Just drifting. Like a ghost haunting his own life. She didn't ask where I went. Not once. Maybe she thought I needed space. Maybe she hoped I'd never come back. Or maybe, worst of all, she didn't notice I was leaving. That's the kind of distance you can't fix. The kind that grows roots in silence. One night, I stopped in front of a bar we used to go to. There was a couple out front, laughing. She looked like her. He looked like me. But younger. Softer. Uncracked. And I hated them instantly. Back home, she was asleep. The robe, the blanket, the soft glow of her screen still on. Another upload queued. Another version of her sent out into the dark. I watched her for a long time. And this stupid broken thought came through me like static. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I stopped seeing her. Maybe I let her drift. Maybe I became so comfortable in us that I didn't notice when she became her. I crawled into bed beside her. Her back was warm, breathing steady, peaceful. I closed my eyes and told myself, asterisk, if I just stay quiet, this won't be real, asterisk. I stopped pretending. No more waiting. No more hoping she'd slip. She already had. Now it was about facts. I needed details. Dates, times, amounts, names. This wasn't about emotion anymore. This was inventory. She left her laptop at home one afternoon. Quick grocery run. Left in a rush. Didn't close the lid all the way. I didn't hesitate. The files were organized. She was always neat, meticulous, even when she was destroying me. Folders by month, subfolders by client, text, notes, draft, and one labeled asterisk repeat customers, top tier. Asterisk. Rick was in there, of course, but so were others, names I didn't recognize at first. Then I started connecting dots. That guy from the gym she said talked too much. That barista who always spelled her name right. Even the fucking Uber driver she once gave 5 stars for good energy. They were all in her DMs. They were all paying. They were all watching. One message hit different. It was from a guy named Jay. No profile pic. But the tone was personal. Too personal. He mentioned things that weren't in her videos. Inside jokes. Real memories. Then it clicked. This wasn't a fan. This was someone who'd been here. In our home. In my space. I sat back in the chair, staring at the screen, and for the first time, I felt nothing. Not anger. Not pain. Just this cold, clean clarity. She wasn't slipping. She wasn't confused. She was in control. And I'd been too polite to notice. I made a list. Just like that. Open Notes app. New file. Title, asterisk, things she thinks I don't know. Asterisk. It wasn't even out of anger. It was discipline. There was something sacred about it. Typing each name. Each detail. One bullet point per betrayal. Jarek. The barista. The lingerie receipts. The hotel email she left in drafts. Then I made another one. Asterisk, what I want. Asterisk. And for the first time in weeks, my hands stopped shaking. Not love. Not revenge. Not closure. Just balance. She gets to have secrets. Then so do I. I started small. Backed up her content. Quietly. Stored it on a separate drive. Encrypted, hidden, silent. Not to leak. Not yet. But as leverage. Insurance. Power. Then I synced her calendar to mine. Set alerts. Tracked routines. Mapped patterns. It became a game. I'd watch her walk into the bedroom, towel around her neck, phone in hand, and I'd already know she had a 6 p.m. session booked with someone named Liam89. That night we had dinner like nothing was wrong. I poured the wine. She lit the candles. We looked like a couple in love. But I was somewhere else entirely. I was inside her inbox. Inside her vault. Inside the lie. And she had no idea. She made a toast. To new beginnings, she said, clinking her glass against mine. I smiled. But inside, I was already building her ending. Started with Rick. Of course it did. He was the easiest. The sloppiest. Always logging in from his work computer. Always forgetting to lock his screen. I waited until Thursday. Team meeting. Everyone in the conference room. Rick left his laptop open. I told him I forgot something in the break room. Slipped back. Closed the door behind me. Then I opened his browser. There it was. Her page. Logged in. Still sticky with last night's activity. He had bookmarked her entire collection. Organized by tags. I took screenshots. Not of the videos, but of his comments. The private ones. The dirty ones. The ones that used my name in a joke. Then I emailed them to myself. From his account. To hers. Subject line. Thought you should see what he's saying about you too. No explanation. No sign off. Just a silent bullet in the dark. Back at the meeting, I sat across from Rick. He cracked a joke. People laughed. He looked at me and winked. I smiled back. He had no idea that, in a few hours, he'd be wondering why she blocked him. Why the page was gone. Why his little fantasy was suddenly infected with paranoia. That night she was quiet. Something was off. She picked at her food. Checked her phone too often. Eyes scanning, heart racing behind the glass. I watched her. And thought. One down. I caught myself staring at her toothbrush. Blue handle. Worn bristles. She always pressed too hard when she brushed, like she was trying to scrub herself clean. It was just sitting there. Innocent. Stupid. And I suddenly thought, what the hell am I doing? Was this revenge? Was this justice? Or was I just another version of the men I hated? Digging. Watching. Saving files. Turning her into a collection of data points and proofs. Like she wasn't human. Like she didn't bleed. I sat on the bathroom floor. Lights off. Door closed. Phone in hand. Camera roll full of evidence. Notes app full of poison. I stared at the screen for a long time. And asked myself the question I never wanted to ask. What if I'm the villain now? She knocked once. You okay? Yeah, I said. But inside I wasn't sure. Maybe I stopped being okay the moment I saw her page. Maybe part of me wanted this. Not the truth. The break. The fracture. The excuse to finally become something colder. I looked in the mirror that night. Didn't recognize the man staring back. But I nodded to him anyway. Because soon, he'd need to do something irreversible. I made a folder. On a drive she didn't know existed. Hidden inside another folder labeled asterisk, Tax Docs 2018. Asterisk. Inside it? Everything. Her messages. Videos. Client names. Payment logs. Screenshots of custom requests where she described herself in ways I never heard her say out loud. And the voice notes. God, the voice notes. In one of them she moaned a name. It wasn't mine. It wasn't even close. And the worst part? It sounded real. Not acted. Not performed. But honest. Like something she'd never given me. I started copying the data to a second drive. Then a third. Then the cloud. It wasn't about blackmail. It wasn't about exposure. It was about control. Because for the first time in months, I held something she couldn't edit. I had truth. Raw. Ugly. Unfiltered. She had her audience. And now, I had mine. I renamed the folder before I zipped it. Underscore for Wenchlice to my face under. All lowercase. No emotion. Because this wasn't rage anymore. It was routine. She came home that evening smiling. Carrying flowers. Just felt like doing something nice, she said. I kissed her cheek. Then watched her walk away. And I knew. The next time she lied to me would be the last time she ever lied to anyone. I made her favorite. Pasta, red wine, the good plates. Candles. Music from that playlist we used to slow dance to before everything curdled. She walked in surprised. What's all this? Her smile almost real. Almost. Just felt like celebrating, I said. Celebrating what? I poured the wine. You. We sat. Talked. She relaxed. Even laughed. The way people laugh when they think the fire's out, not realizing the floor is still smoldering underneath. I waited. Let her finish her plate. Let her pour the second glass. And then I stood up. Quiet. Come. Walked over to the TV. Plugged in the USB. The screen lit up. A still frame of her inbox. My folder. Organized. Numbered. She froze. Fork midair. Eyes locked. Breath held. The wine didn't spill. She didn't scream. But something in her spine cracked. I could see it. What's this? She asked. Flat. Dead. You tell me, I said. I hit play. It wasn't a sex tape. It was her voice. That message she left for Jay. The one where she called him, the only one who sees me. She didn't blink. But her fingers curled into fists in her lap. I sat down across from her. The music still playing in the background. Oh, soft, sick. And I said the one thing I hadn't said in weeks. How long were you planning to lie to me? She opened her mouth. And the first word she said was not sorry. Look. That's how she started. Not, I'm sorry. Not, I messed up. Just asterisk, look. Asterisk. Like this was a debate. Like there were two sides. You're not being fair, she said. That one made me smile. Fair? I leaned back. Watched her search for words like she was picking the right filter. You went through my private stuff, she added. Right. My bad, I said. Guess I should have just subscribed like everyone else. Her mouth opened, then shut. It's not what you think. She said it like it was a spell. A magic phrase meant to undo months of rot. I didn't answer. Just grabbed the remote. Paused the video right at the moment where she whispered, "No one makes me feel the way you do, Jay. Tell me, what exactly am I supposed to think?" She looked at the floor. Then at me. You weren't here. Not really. You stopped seeing me. That part almost landed. It almost worked. Because yeah, I hadn't been perfect. I'd missed cues. Stayed late at work. Maybe I stopped listening. But this wasn't distance. This was performance. Strategy. Monetization. I didn't cheat, she said suddenly. Not physically. That word again. Like morality came with a terms of service page. I stood up. Walked to the kitchen. Let the silence stretch like wire between us. Then I said, "You let strangers buy parts of you I never got. You called it freedom. I call it hiding." She flinched. Not because it was loud. Because it wasn't. I leaned on the counter. Didn't look at her. Couldn't. Because if I did, I'd either scream or fold. And I couldn't afford either. I watched all of it, I said. Her head snapped up, eyes wide. Not from shame. From panic. Panic that I saw too much. I know what you wear when you're trying to seduce. I know your fake laugh from your real one. I know how you arch your back just a little more for tips. She opened her mouth, but I didn't let her. I know what you gave them. Beat. And I know what you never gave me. That landed. I watched her pupils shrink. You think this is about sex? I said quieter now. It's not. It's about access. It's about how I got the version of you with the Wi-Fi off, no makeup, half present. And they. I motioned to the pause screen, frozen in mid-moan. They got the curated you. The turned on. Tuned in. Monetized dream girl. You gave them everything. And I got leftovers. Her voice cracked. That's not fair. I turned to her. Neither was loving you. She snapped. Like a switch. No tears. No apology. Just volume. So now I'm the villain? She said, voice rising. You go through my stuff, violate my privacy, spy on me, asterisk, and I'm the monster. Asterisk. There it was. The mask cracking but not falling. This wasn't collapse. This was defense. Desperation painted as anger. You don't understand what it's like, she said, pacing now. To feel invisible. To feel like no one wants you. And then suddenly they do. They see you. They choose you. Her voice shook, but not with pain. With ego. And underneath it all, a single sharp confession hiding like a knife. She liked it. You could have just talked to me, she added. That's what couples do. They talk. I laughed. Quiet. Bitter. You mean like you did? When you started filming your body for strangers and hiding their money in crypto wallets? Her face twisted. That's different. No, I said. It's exactly the same. She stopped moving. Just stood there. Arms crossed. Breathing heavy. A child caught mid-theft, still trying to look proud. And then she said it. That one line that finally ended the performance. Well, maybe if you'd made me feel like they did, I wouldn't have had to. Silence. Not the soft kind. The kind that rips paint off walls. And in that silence I realized, she didn't break. She just dropped the act. I didn't raise my voice. Didn't move toward her. Didn't throw anything. That would have given her something to hold on to. A scene. A moment she could flip in her head later and say, asterisk, see? He lost it. Asterisk. No. I stayed still. Because stillness terrifies narcissists more than rage. I sent you something, I said. She blinked. What? Check your phone. She pulled it from the counter. One notification. One message. From me. A link. Private. Unlisted. She tapped it. And there it was. Her videos. All of them. Watermarked. Sourced. Documented. Side by side with her full name. Date of birth. Email. Bank trail. A mirror. Undeniable. Unforgiving. Visible only to her. She looked up at me. What is this? Everything, I said. Everything I saved. Everything you tried to hide. Everything I could send with one click. Her hand shook. But, you wouldn't. I smiled. Not cruel. Not angry. Just done. Wouldn't I? I walked past her. To the door. Put my coat on. Took my keys. Paused. Looked back once. She stood there, robe hanging off her shoulder, breathing like a dying engine. Still waiting for mercy. But there wasn't any left. You monetized your body, I said. Now I own the receipts. I didn't go anywhere. I told myself I would. Told myself I'd drive. Get lost. Rent a room under a different name. But instead, I sat in the car. All night. Engine off. Silence swallowing the cabin. Phone on the passenger seat, screen down. Not vibrating. Not ringing. Of course not. She knew better. I watched the windows fog. Then clear. Fog. Clear. Like breath. Like death. Like everything I thought was love trying to leave my lungs. Around 3 a.m. a cat jumped on the hood. Looked at me like I was the ghost. Maybe I was. Not a man anymore. Not a partner. Just something left over from a war no one else saw. At 5 I went back inside. Not because I forgave her. Not because I missed her. Just because the silence in the car was louder than the one in our bed. She wasn't there. Her robe on the floor. Phone gone. No note. But that wasn't surprising. She always preferred exits with no sound. I deleted everything. No backups. No trace. Just selected the folder. Hit delete. Then emptied the trash. That was the funeral. No flowers. No words. Just silence and data loss. I didn't drink. Didn't cry. Didn't scream. I sat in the chair and stared at the wall. Same wall we painted together 3 years ago. The same wall she once leaned against, laughing, naked, saying, "Let's never ruin this." And now it's just drywall. Her name doesn't come up on my phone anymore. Not blocked. Just erased. Like a search result that never existed. If she died tomorrow, I wouldn't know. Wouldn't check. Wouldn't care. That's not hate. That's worse. People say the opposite of love is indifference. Wrong. It's exposure. It's when you see someone exactly for what they are, and it stops hurting, because there's nothing left to ruin. I didn't survive this. I just stopped needing to. I don't think about her anymore. Not because I'm healed. Because she's not there to think about. Just pixels. Just a noise I muted. I wake up. I eat. I exist. But not in anything. Not in love. Not in hate. Not in memory. The house is clean. No scent. No hair on the pillow. No trace of her shape in the mattress. Like she was never real. People ask if I'm seeing someone. I say no. They say, take your time. They think I'm grieving. But I'm not. Grief needs love. Needs loss. This was subtraction. A correction. A glitch finally cleared. Sometimes I scroll past her face. A repost. A leaked clip. A name without a soul. I don't stop. I don't blink. Because it's not her. That version died. So did mine. There's no ending to this. No lesson. No rebuild. No light. Just one line I never said out loud, until now. I never stopped loving her. I just stopped being real for her.